Hello everyone, Soulate here. Join me as we get some awesome enemy skill, kill some big ass bosses, and enjoy the world of Final Fantasy VII for our Platinum playthrough. So last episode, we had a very story heavy sequence of flashbacks, starting to develop some backstory with Cloud and Sephiroth, as well as just kind of find some ins and outs of things that happened 5 years ago. Right now we are pretty much looking for certain enemy types to get some enemy skill materias and also just show off some of the new enemies that we can encounter. So the game really does open up at this point. It's still linear because all games will gate you where you can go, what you can do based on what you have access to. But from here on out, you get to explore a little bit more. You have a big overworld, and you can kind of see where you might be going in the future, which just makes it seem a lot more expansive. So if you're strapped for cash, you are going to want to grind a little bit. You do need to spend some money to get the Chocobo lure materia to progress with the story. Alright, so make sure to talk to him. This is a Chocobo, and this is going to get you your first summon. Alright, now we have Choco/Mog. It is a wind elemental materia that hits all enemies on the screen. And as you can see, it gives a +1 magic, -2 HP, and +2 MP, which is pretty standard for the early on summons. And just like the all materia, the number of stars impacts the number of times you can use it in a fight. So for instance, 1 star means you can only use Choco/Mog or whatever summon once in that encounter. 2 stars, twice. 3 stars, 3 times. So you'll want to level those up as well, and as you level them up, you can use them more. Now the great thing about a lot of the summon materias is that it also has an added effect if you equip it either with elemental magic, or elemental in the offensive or defensive link slots. So you can give your character wind elemental damage by doing elemental and Chocomog in the weapon slots, or you can get a defense to it in the defense slots. So you want to make sure to buy the Chocobo lure materia from him, as well as some greens. Using the greens will make the Chocobo stay longer, because to catch the Chocobo you need to defeat all the enemies on the screen without it running away. And it's pretty skittish and it'll run away almost immediately sometimes. Before we get the Chocobo to continue on, what we want to do is learn some enemy skills. There's 3 that we're going to be picking up, and sure enough, this enemy pair will have it. The little ground squirrel things will use an attack called level 4 Suicide. If your character is level 4, multiplier of 4, then it will affect you. And it does massive damage, drops you down very low on HP. So we're going to try to get Barrett to learn that right now. And it can take a while sometimes for them to use the skills, and it does hit pretty hard. So we're going to try to get down to 1 enemy, and then just play the waiting game. And to get the second enemy skill that we're going to be learning, we actually do need this one first. Now we're just going to play the waiting game. And we're going to use that 3 times speed because it can take a while sometimes for that one enemy to use that one skill you're waiting for. The RNG boss is a real boss. There we go, level 4 suicide. So now it has been learned. It also inflicts a mini, as you can see. As you can see, since Cloud was level was 16, that's why it affected him. So there you go, you can see it right there. We're going to heal back up. And now we're going to start looking for the Chocobo. After I equip the materia. Because to get the Chocobos or greatly increase the chances, you want to have that materia on. Here is one of the enemy pairs that can do it. So we're going to use our Mimic Greens right away on the Chocobo so it doesn't run away. And then very carefully select the enemies that you're trying to kill. Just do one attack at a time because you do not want to kill it off with one move and then have bad things happen. Go ahead and use level 4 suicide as soon as you can, and you will now learn Choco Buckle, which this does damage based on the number of times you have fleed. It can be very powerful if you run away from a lot of fights, or it can do practically nothing. For me, it usually does nothing because I don't run away very often. Not a lot of MP for potentially a whole ton of damage. Alright, so that's 2 out of 3 enemy skills. There is 1 left to get, and there's quite a bit of preparation that goes into it. First off, you are going to need to rearrange a lot of your materia, and you're going to want to go in with full limit breaks. Also, make sure to save right before, because this boss can easily give you a game over. So we're actually going to go heal up as well. So you're going to want Elemental Fire on whoever you have enemy skill on, because it is a fire elemental attack called Beta, and it does a ton of damage. So you need to make sure that that character survives it. So you're also going to want to make sure to maximize their HP. You're going to need poison on somebody, because it helps take his HP down a lot faster and gets him into the configuration where he can use it. Make sure to save, and then there's 2 last steps we're going to want to do before we go in. One is to make sure Grab a Ball is at the top of your item menu, because it does a percentage of HP damage, of maximum HP, and this boss has quite a bit, so it'll take about 1,000 off per time, because he can counterattack to attacks with an eject skill, which will kick him out of the party. And the last thing I just did there was give my character sadness, because it gives that defense boost. or damage reduction boost. So essentially what we're just going to do here is keep casting Graviball and then try to poison him as well. And make sure to keep the cure up. Alright, so this is the configuration we want him in. This is where he can use beta. Now it's just going to be a matter of time until, or once we do enough damage that he'll use it. But like I said, he can counterattack with an eject skill. Alright, the poison's stuck, so now it's just a matter of staying alive. And you do need to finish him off after it gets cast. Now honestly we can just wait and keep hitting defend. But I'm keeping all my options open still, so I can cure as needed with either a potion, high potion, or cure magic. Alright, I'm tired of waiting. Let's just go ahead and use Big Blow to see if we can speed it up a little bit. You can encounter him an infinite number of times, so if you accidentally kill him, then it doesn't matter. And okay, there's the eject skill. He countered the limit break, so that's why you want to just kind of wait till the poison goes off. So when he gets ejected from a fight, you can't do anything about it except finish the fight. There's no way to use a Phoenix Down or anything like that. Also, another thing that I did pre-fight was I equipped the Talisman, which increases your spirit by 10 on Cloud to help that magic defense out. Just did that for the last little bit of damage to trigger beta. And Eris will most likely die. Cloud's going to be very close to death. And yep, we learned it. So now we just gotta finish the fight before we die. So hopefully between the high potion trying to keep me alive a little bit longer, as well. Oh, the poison just killed him off before I could even use the limit break. That was playing it a little bit safe. I probably could have just used Blade Beam and killed him. Didn't want to risk it though. Alright, so now we're gonna go back, heal up. So beta does a ton of damage for this early in the game. You can totally wipe out a lot of groups of enemies really quick with it, but it has a pretty steep MP cost at this point. So unless you really need to use it, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you just want to see things blow up and don't care about the MP cost, have at it. except we do want to put a green back in front. That way we can actually keep the Chocobo around long enough to catch it. We are officially going to catch that Chocobo now. Remember to throw that green out as soon as you can. Sometimes it does run away before that can even happen. Don't use Bolt on the grass, they're resistant to magic. That was a rookie mistake on my part. And now we have a Chocobo. So we're just gonna essentially run across the marsh. We're now faster than the snake. Essentially just trying to lure it over by stepping in really quick. There's the entrance, there's the snake. Go for it. Alright, so there's quite a few goodies in the cave. We're going to start off going to the right. There's also a new item, or a new weapon for Tifa is now available. Pick up the long-range materia. Alright, so that does exactly what it sounds like it does, which I'll explain in a second, because that dragon will teach you flamethrower if used on the person with enemy skill. That is your 4th enemy skill in the last 30 minutes or so. And it does more damage than fire at a higher MP cost, and it looks pretty cool though. But good for giving that non-magic user or whomever all the skills they might need. Now, what long range does is it will allow, if the character's in the front row, back row, if the enemy's in the front row, back row, up in the air where a normal physical attack can't get to it, it will be able to get to it and do non-penalized damage. So for instance, I could have Cloud in the back row with long range, and he would do the same damage to every enemy on the screen, no matter where they are positioned. So normally it would be good to give somebody with, say, cover that's in the back row, give them long range as well, so they can A, soak up all the damage and take reduced damage, but then output the same amount of damage. It's also very important for a boss fight later, but I'll point that out when we get to it. And this is another enemy that we can steal Tifa's weapon from. That can take a while. Sometimes this random encounter can actually take a little longer as well, because it can inflict darkness. So characters are going to miss a little bit more often with everything because of the darkness that's currently inflicted. And now once again we play the waiting game, trying to get that steal off. speed it up because it's taken forever. I promise you that it does have it. My luck for stealing has not been good at all during this playthrough, actually. So once you get that Grand Glove, just kill it. It's going to be the 2 slots linked and 2 solo slots, just like you have for everyone else at this point. Couple more items to get, and we're still looking for that dragon so we can learn Flamethrower with Barret. I don't believe you can follow me just yet. There's one more area to go into. Just your basic elixirs, sources, tents, high potions, you know, same stuff. Alright, so we are going to not kill the dragon this time until we get Flamethrower on Barret. We are going to use Chocobo early though, just to wipe out the snakes, to make the waiting process more bearable. And we are not attacking because we do not want an auto attack after 2 kill. Now, besides being wind elemental, Chocobo can actually cause a stop to happen on the enemies. Typically doesn't work on bosses, but can be helpful for a group if they don't all die. And sure enough, Barret learned Flamethrower. That is all the enemy skills in the area, so we're going to head on out and follow the Turks. And with that, I just want to say thanks everyone for watching. That's going to be the end of the episode. make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and check out all my other videos. And once again, thank you and have an awesome day.